Hello there. Well, here we are, live at 5. Every Wednesday, Queen Mother Speaks. I am Ella Dashanaba King, and I'm your host for Queen Mother Speaks. I'm delighted to be here with you today. And I'm saying to you, welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. I first have to start off by apologizing to you because on last week, my Wi Fi was down and I couldn't get the show. So the show automatically canceled. Now, again today, I'm still having issues. My carrier has promised me and promised me and promised me, but so far, up until this moment, they have failed me. They have not done what they said they would do. So we're on our cell phone using a hotspot today to come into you to Queen Mother Speak. All right, again, thank you for being here. We will say to you that our theme for this season is the only impossible journey is the one that you never began. How about that? Stay aligned with your New Year's resolution and pay attention to the wisdom words that's coming into you from your elders. Okay, so now that theme is simply to remind you, right, that we're the ones we've been waiting for. People in the studio, please put your phones on mute because I'm hearing sound coming from your area. Please put your phone on mute until it's time to speak. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So once again, we apologize for no connectivity last weekend. Hopefully, it'll stay on this week. We just don't know. But one of the things I have come to know is that I am not in control of technology, and so it does what it does. And I'm just so happy that I'm not freaking out because some time ago I was freaking out every time something happens with technology. But it's okay. But listen, even though they're doing artificial intelligence and the computers and all that stuff is there, none of that begins to touch a human being. Okay. So we want you to know that none of that stuff begins to touch a human being. All right. And you are a human being. And so you will last way longer, way longer than the computers will. All right. We want to say hello to Coach because she's trying to come to the studio. Coach, please put your mic on mute. We hear everything. Put your mic on mute, please. Okay. And
I'm trying.
we also say to you with Queen Mother Speaks is that your life works if you work it. I remember a few years ago that I was a title to a book by the late great Dr. Johnny Coleman. She said it works if you work it. And so today we give a shout out to the late great Dr. Johnny Coleman, and just wanted to know that every time I read that book, it just lights me up all over again. We're pleased that the Wi-Fi has returned to some degree right now, so we hope it'll stay here with us as we're going through the show. We remind you to hit that like, share, comment button, and acknowledge that our co-host Nana Efua Adezawa is on holiday. Thank you to those of you tuning into the studio right now. We're doing this on our cell phone hotspot. So we hope it stays with us the whole time. All right. We do have our in studio co host, Rakaya. And I want to give you some shout outs to some of our social media followers Charles Champ Walker, Eric Jabutu, Reverend Virginia Miller, Gail Rothstein, Radhika, Rashida, Daniel Ngugi, James Harkness, and Rakaya. Are you ready to tell us who's in studio today?
No, ma'am. Good
No
morning,
problem.
everybody.
It's okay.
Good
We'll get right
morning, good
going.
afternoon, good evening. I apologize. I was not able to download that information, but I am prepared to do my presentation on mental health in the African American community.
Okay, and that will be happening on the 31st of May, ladies and gentlemen. Because May is Mental Health Month, and because Coach Rakaya is, in fact, a health and wellness coach, on May 31, we will have a complete session dealing with mental health. All right, we're going to go right back to where we are right now. So I'm going to show you who's in studio today. All right, so we have with us today in studio We have, of course, there's Coach. Coach, I want to say that your lighting is not good. All we
I
see is the glare from your glass. Okay, that's better. And please stop chewing. Please stop chewing on international coverage. And I hope you don't mind me saying that to you right here, right now. We want to thank our audience for tuning in and listening in, and give a shout out to your friends. So we do have in studio today a very dear friend, and we'll tell you more of his story. But he is a humanitarian, and he's going to come in just a moment and say hello to you, give you his name, and tell you a little bit about what he's going to talk about. Then he'll be back later on in the program. All right, sir. Nicholas?
Go ahead. Thank you so much, Mother, Queen Mother. Thank you very much for having this, sir. I'm Nicholas Walaga. I'm the founder of the Soul for African Child Foundation, based here in Africa, Kenya. And of course, I'm going to speak on how we can be able to take care of the children with disabilities. Of course, to make sure that at least they are taken care of in their schooling programs. And I'll show you more what you've done so far these 6 years back. So thank you for having me. Thank you for having me,
All right.
Mother Queen. It's been
Okay.
a great thing to have me on the show.
Oh, it is. And when we get around to introducing you, we're going to tell them how we met and the whole story because the whole thing is just so exciting. Coach, you want to greet the audience?
good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to some. And I would love to give a special shout out to three very important people in my life. Yesterday was the twins' birthday, Amina Imani and Nzinga's birthday, and also my niece Jasmine birthday. And so they're very dynamic, three individuals. Nia's birthday was on the 8th. I have a lot of Torians, surrounded by a lot of Torians that checks me with every move that I make. However, they're good people, brilliant, precise, exacting, and love a family. And so I want to say, blessed Earthborn Day to each and every one of them, and may God continue to direct their paths. Happy
Thank you
birthday.
so much, Coach.
Faraha Kuzaliwa to you. We love you. We do. Felicidades and blessed abundance.
Thank you so much, Coach. Of course, we'll be coming back to her before the show is over. She's been having to bear with me as I've been having all of these issues with my connectivity. And by the same time, she's also been traveling about. So it's not as easy to catch up with each other as you think. But here's one thing I do know: when you have intention, eventually it will happen. So, Coach, I'm very happy to see you on the show today. I want to take this moment and say thank you to our fans tuning in from West Coast USA. That would be Simkia from Hawaii, Ernestine M. Pingo, Councilman Farrell, Red Adisa, and Kwashi tuning in from Los Angeles. And Kwashi actually has a birthday coming up, and we're going to celebrate it, however, next week. Also, we want to say hello, West Coast, Tashmia, Nyla, Hakika, and Samantha tuning in. Tell me, who's rocking it in your world? Who is it that's rocking it in your world? Send us their names and the guests that you want to see on the show, and we will do just that. Queen Mother reminds you to stay safe. Now, we know during pandemic, we went through this big thing about washing our hands and keeping safe. And I want to say to you, just continue to wash your hands. Not because the government is asking you to, but because it's the right thing to do. Keep your hands washed. Okay, thank you tuning in. Also from Nairobi, Kenya, we have the Honorable Margaret Toiley. Thank you, Honorable, for tuning in. She's going to be coming to us and telling us some new things about the two-thirds gender rule. Hold on, it's coming on later into the show as we move into this season. I want to say hello to Shreya, Rosa Mwara, Anju, Jay Mwangi, Parita, Rose Okalo, Maurice Obuyu, and Estelle, all tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks from no place other than Nairobi, Kenya. Did you know that Nairobi, Kenya is considered, that Kenya as a country is considered paradise on earth? Well, let me tell you, it's true. It's true. I wake up in the morning, I go fling open the door. It is so beautiful outside. And even though we're in the rainy season, getting a lot of rain, it is still very gorgeous. Everything is green galore. Green, 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 green galore. All right. So, what is Queen Mother Speaks? We are a community platform and we bring you information on issues that matter. We seek to raise your awareness, to inform you, to inspire, to ignite, involve, enlighten, educate. We want you to laugh when you're on the Queen Mother Speak show. Bring you newsworthy events. We bring you words from the elders, and we have dialogue with our guests, as we'll be doing today. We'll be talking again with our dear brother today. So, from the Art of Living Institute, we take on a breathing exercise, okay? And we incorporate that breathing into the Queen Mother Speak show. Because when I started doing it back during pandemic, it meant so much for me, and it did so much for me inside of the pandemic that we share it every week on Queen Mother Speaks. Okay, so how it works is we breathe in through the nose, okay, to the count of 6. We hold it to the count of 6, and then we release it to the count of 10. So we breathe in through the nose to the count of 6. We hold it to the count of 6, and then we exhale slowly through the mouth. All right? All right, looks like our guest is coming back into the studio. He's come back in. So we've got him in. He's getting situated again. And please plug your microphone, sir. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Thank you. All right. So we're going to go forth with our breathing exercises right here, right now. We'll bring up everybody in the studio for this. Okay. Nicholas, you are not in the camera. Nicholas?
All right, let me see. About. Okay.
Coach, come over some. You are not in the camera. We see half of you.
That is okay.
You're fine, Nicholas. Okay, Coach.
Thank
now
you.
You're
Thank
fine.
you.
Very
Thank you.
good. So right now we're going to do our breathing exercises. Okay, so we're going to ask you to start now. We're going to breathe in through our nose to the count of 6. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it again. Gonna breathe in. You ready? To the count of 6. Let's go. Hold. And release. Okay, we're going to try one more. Breathe in. Hold. And release. We want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that through the Art of Living Institute, which they're global, you can Google them and find out about the breathing exercises in your city. And you know what you're going to find out? You're going to find out just how important your breath really, 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 really is. Okay. So I just want to say that breathing exercises can help you and me to reduce stress because it increases the oxygen exchange within our bodies. And these physical changes also can support our mental state. Did you have a question, Ron?
I wanted to add that by controlling your breath, you're able to manipulate your blood pressure, and it lowers your blood pressure. By learning to breathe effectively, it will reduce the numbers in the reading of your pressure. And so breathing is akin to sleeping or eating. And if one learns to really truly breathe the effective way, you're also able to control your thoughts, which then your mind is mastered. If you're able to control your thoughts, you then allow your mind to actually rule as opposed to your thoughts leading you down the wrong road.
Well,
That's all I have to say.
thank you very much. And I'm going to testify right now. I've heard Coach say that breathing helps your blood pressure. So I've actually, on purpose, pulled out my little blood pressure machine and taken my pressure. And then I went and I did 10 minutes of breathing. Then I went back to the blood pressure machine, okay, and I checked it again. I, it works. The pressure was actually lower. I wish somebody had told me that a long time ago when I'm sitting in the doctor's office waiting to be checked, scared, hoping that my pressure isn't up. But had I known about breathing, I could have brought it down. So thank you for that very important and precious
And
point that you shared with us,
let
Coach.
me add one more thing. One more thing. When you're going to the doctor and they're doing your vitals, it's kind of skewed because you've just woken up, taken a shower, you're rushing to get to work, to the doctor on time, you're in traffic. There are a lot of environmental elements going on. So naturally, your pressure is going to be high. So that cannot be the barometer or the measurement that is utilized every time. And so you must learn to understand how your body works and be able to follow the laws of the universe by surrendering to God. I'm just saying,
Okay.
surrendering to God and learning to apply those things that you are aware of. And thirdly, we are disobedient. We have become a disobedient people, and this is why we find ourselves in a lot of situations, circumstances, and why we're suffering from so many diseases in America and globally. We're not adhering to the laws of the universe and the laws of the land. The animals know what time to pray. The animals know what time to go to bed. The animals begins to sing at sunset. The animals wake you up at sunrise. We have shied away from the laws of nature. My thought, but it's the fact.
Very well, thank you for that. Now, as you know, we are inside of our meditation moment. And basically, inside of that moment, we deal with the meditation. But Coach had something burning on her heart that she wanted to say. Thank you for that, Coach. So right now, we're going to go to our meditation reading. And I'm going to repeat the topic 3 times. And what I want you to do is to just listen with your heart. The thought for today is, I am a perfect match for the good Okay, so now I don't really know where that came from, but it's okay. We're all still here. All right. And so I am a perfect match for the good I desire. What we are seeking is also seeking us. You see, because energy is not static, energy is always in constant motion, and it is attracted to an energy like itself. As we allow our thoughts to come forth in spoken form, they go forth seeking to validate their truth. They return to us through an experience that matches our spoken words. We see this often in the pattern of our relationships, both our platonic and our romantic relationships. As we become aware of what we are doing to attract the same friends or to match up the mates that we want over and over again, we can change our energy and we can change the relationships we also attract. I am a perfect match for whatever good I desire, and my good comes to me as I put faith in the words I have spoken. Thank you, wisdom, in me, as me, through me, around me, through the Christ within, and so it is. Okay, so our daily thoughts from the Hill is from Hillside International Truth Center, located in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. And if you find yourself in America, in a state that's called Georgia and a city that's called Atlanta, please check out Hillside International Chapel and Truth Center. You will love that experience. Okay. All right. So I want to take this moment and I want to give homage to our dear brother, Dr. Paul Anthony Williams, who made his transition, and they euthanized him on Thursday of last week. We want to send comfort and love to the family, and may his soul rest in peace. He was one of our great African historians. Let me take a moment again and give shout outs to those of you tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, as we're still at the beginning or a new month, and if you were born in the month of May, then your zodiac sign would be Taurus, which is May 1st to the 20th, or you might be Gemini, May 21 to May 31. People born under the Taurus sign, which is an earth sign, are known to be intelligent and dependable and stubborn and stubborn. People born under
Very.
Gemini, that's right. People born under Gemini, okay, which is an air sign, they're known to be whimsical, talkative, and adaptable. Okay, celebrities who are celebrating their birthday this week, I'm just going to give you a few. We have Thelma Houston, who's turning 80. We have actor Robin Strasser from the movie, from the serial On Right to Live, turning 78. Drummer Bill with the Grateful Dead is turning 77 this month of May. Singer Philip Bailey, yes, Philip Bailey with Earth, Wind, and Fire. He's turning 70 this month. Drummer Alex Van Halen of the Van Halen Orchestra is turning 70. Actor David Keith, 69. Melissa Gilbert, turning 59. Actor Candice Bergen, 77. Billy Joel, 74. May 13th, actor Buck Taylor from Gunsmoke. Okay. Actor Zoe Wanamaker from Harry Potter. And the Sorcerer's Stone, also turning 75. All right, last but not least, Franklin Ajaya, an actor in the movie Car Wash. I remember Car Wash. That was one of my movies when I was living in Hollywood. That's right. Anyway, he is turning 74. And last but not least, our dear friend, our dear brother, Stevie Wonder, turned 73 in this month of May. Okay, a few more fan mentions. I want to say hello to Sarah and the girls tuning in from Dubai, Dr. Willie Butler out of Louisiana, Professor Al Gaskins, Ohio, Chess and Lilo tuning in from New York City. Queen Mother want to invite you to please go ahead and hit that like, share, comment button. like, share, comment button. Like, share, comment button. Please, please, please hit those buttons and let us know that you are tuning in to the Queen Mother Speaks show. All right. So now we're going to go now and begin to talk about our guest in studio today. His name is Professor Dr. Nicholas WALAGA. Nicholas WALAGA. I have to tell you this about Nicholas, and I'm going to bring him up on the screen right now because we have such a great story to share about who we are and where we come from. Let me move her out of, oh, okay. So my reason for being in Kenya is to serve. And when I came here, I was first stationed at a place called KESI, Kenya Education Staff Institute, which became KESI, Kenya Education Management Institute. And then from there, I was called by a university by the name of United States International University from their glorious and illustrious Vice Chancellor, Dr. Frida Brown, who invited me to take on a position at the university in the School of Business, the Shandaria School of Business, and that I did. Once we did that, we not only served as a director of the Entrepreneurship Center there at USIU, but we also taught classes, business, entrepreneurship, marketing, okay? And in those classes, that's where I met the one and only gentleman that you're looking at right now, Nicholas. He was a student in one of those classes, and he graduated. And I remember asking me to write him a letter of recommendation. Of course, I did. And he went on his way. Like many of the students, after they graduate, they get into the life that they get into. But it was a few months ago that I happened to bump into Nicholas. Tell him about that, Nicholas. What happened? Somebody invited me to downtown Nairobi in an office that I had never been to. And where was this office?
Oh, this is a good story, and I thank God that at least it's got me so true that
Unmute.
we can still have our memories right. And just
Unmute.
downtown.
Unmute.
Hello,
Unmute.
Army.
Unmute. 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 We can't hear you.
You can hear me. All right, can you hear me
Yes,
now?
we can hear you
Good,
now.
good. And the story goes on. And so I meet best of my friends back at the USIU, best of my lecturers there, and who crowned me the best of the betters of the day. So there were 12 universities who were competing for the crown of the best debater of the year, and Dr. King being there, and I was crowned the best debater of the year. And a letter was written to my name. And 12 years after, the letter continued to speak much better than every other letter I had in terms of what I could call my CV. I went door to door, and more often, that letter spoke much better than my other degrees. And I wondered, I said, must have been spoken from the heart. So Dr. King blessed me. I believed you. You blessed me.
Hallelujah.
Thank you so
Are you
much.
getting what this brother is saying? That I wrote him a letter of recommendation 12 years ago. And to this day, he can still use that same letter. That's a powerful letter. Is that a powerful letter or what?
It is much a powerful letter. It goes beyond academics.
Yeah, and the powerful letter was written about a very powerful man. Let me tell you a little bit about Professor Nicholas. He's a highly accomplished academic, researcher, and a philanthropist, and he's devoted a lot of his career to improving the lives of children and any children having emerging issues in Africa. He is the founder of Souls, SOLES for African Child. Souls is a nonprofit organization. Dr. Walaga holds a bachelor's degree in international relations and a master's degree in development studies and a PhD in developmental studies. How about that? His academic achievements have been recognized with numerous awards over the years and honors, and he's widely regarded as one of Africa's leading experts on developing issues. I had no idea that this is how the brother was out there developing his career and his life. So when I read this bio about who he is, it just warms my heart. Throughout his career, he's been a very passionate advocate for the rights and the well being of children, particularly those children living in Africa, and particularly those children who are living with a disability. Now that's where our paths cross. Because one of the things that Queen Mother does is I work with people with disability. So we were able to just really, in that one day, they had invited me to meet in this office, and it turned out to be his office. And we started talking about what we were doing and found out that we both do work in the disability community. After that, it was all over. It was all over. He's currently a lecturer at the Riara University here in Kenya, where he shares his expertise and passion for development studies and environmental studies. He shares this with his students. He's also worked as a researcher in the Kenyan Parliament for over 10 years, where he played a key role in helping to shape policies that promote social justice and equality. Through his teachings, through his research, and his philanthropy, Dr. WALAGA has been able to network with relevant individuals, organizations, and duty bearers to continue to inspire and empower the next generation of African leaders. We're very thrilled to have him today here at Queen Mother Speaks. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. You know, I don't get it all. I don't get this kind of. This doesn't happen often. This doesn't happen often. All right, so I'm just delighted, and ever since I've met Nicholas, we've been doing lots of things together. I want you to know that during the Mother's Day weekend, when most of us was preparing our gifts for our mothers, Nicholas and his team were up in Baringo County. He's going to tell you about all of that in just a moment. But first, Nicholas, tell us something about the county where you were born. Tell us about your siblings and where you grew up, and then share with us your current family.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Mother, you've spoken much of it all, and I don't know what to add on to this, but allow me to say this. That I'm one of those beneficiaries of what the universe can give to human beings in terms of meeting strangers and changing lives. I was born and brought up in this country, but what happened afterwards as I was growing up is that I had the disadvantage of getting my education, getting my formal education. And so I met a family from the UK who got me when I was a beach boy, which I'd served, I must say, I had served for 7 years. And it looked like a very good dream when this family thought the best thing that they could do to such a child was to get to school and, of course, be better people into their society. And I remember that was in 2007, 2008, where, of course, was something that happened in my country. There was a post-election violence. And at that time, I had my good tune of life. That was when I met this family who had found it good that they take me to school. Yes, things happened after. And it looked like a good dream come true. Strangers meeting you and making your life change. And so I went to United States International University, based here in Nairobi, where I did my bachelor degree. And afterwards, as Dr. King has spoken to us, well, I finished up and meeting great people, and my life changed. I think it continued changing. And that's when I thought it was that what can I give back? That which I've been given so much, so freely. And that's what gave me the dream that I should start a foundation that will give equally back as I was given. And so here, I continue with the dream that which was given. And I remember that family telling me that we are doing this, that you may continue with the circle of giving. We may not be back there in Africa anymore. And of course, they have never come back again. But here, as if they left a disciple back to take care of the dream of helping the society, the underprivileged. And so here I am with a team that is so much dedicated, and we are changing lives. And I hope we'll do much more and more, having many of the same kind of the vigor and the kind of the sense of just trying to make our societies better.
Thank you so
Right.
much for that. And indeed, they are changing lives. I'm just floored when I talk with Professor about the programs on their board that they're doing. And Queen Mother Speaks is going to be joining with Souls for Africa Children in doing things with the disability community and also doing things for our marginalized families. Okay, so now, where did your passion for working with youth come from? When did you realize that that was part of your calling?
But I realized this as I looked at what it first it came from my community, how I saw it happening around me. Of course, we talk today
Hmm.
in Kenya as it is. We are talking of over 1 million people in Kenya are suffering from disability, and most of them are children. And so when I thought of I'll be taking care of the kids in terms of their going to school, but then I realized it was a very big margin. I had to narrow it to some angle that I may be able to take care of. And that's why when I started the area of how could I be able to to buy the wheelchairs, how could I be able to buy the white sticks for the blind, and how I could be able to buy it. Actually, I started with the buying of pair of shoes for the kids. And
Hmm.
this it
Well, it
it
started
basically
with
started.
what? When you
I
said
started
started with
buying shoes, buying pair of shoes for the
shoes.
kids who are going to school. Exactly.
Okay.
While
And
liking it.
that's where you got the name from, Souls for Africa Children.
Stores for African child.
Okay. And so, literally, your name implies what you were doing, which is giving shoes to children who needed them.
Yes, 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 Dr. King. That's where it started from.
Mhm.
There
All right.
I remember my story. I had my first pair of shoes when I was at the age of 12, and
Oh.
somehow that changed me. That I made it to me that one day, if at all it must happen that I'm still alive, if I told it happy that I'll still be having something that I could give out, then it will begin
Hmm.
from that I'll be able to take care of one child at a time, give a pair
Hmm.
of shoes that will be able to get them to school. And so as it grew after, I realized that it was beyond that.
Hmm.
I remember there's a day where I walked a place where I met kids who did not need my pair of shoes because they were crippled. And somehow it
Hmm.
touched me, and I said that I had to go beyond just giving the pair of shoes.
The
And
shoes.
that's when I started
Okay.
now looking into a way I could give such kind of walking aid, like the wheelchairs and then the walking stick. And it has never stopped. We're going on and
Yeah,
on.
ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are hearing what the professor is saying. That he started out uh, Souls for Africa's Children, and he was making sure that children who didn't have shoes got a chance to have shoes. But then one day, he came across a child who didn't need his shoes because he was in a wheelchair and he couldn't use them. And from there, he then expanded his business beyond just supplying the shoes to now supplying things that people with disability need. And in this case, people who needed wheelchairs. And as you'll find out with the blind community, so will has been and does supply the white cane. They also supply food when they go into areas. And so bottom line, they're saying souls for Africa, but my God, they're doing so much more than just the shoes. Um, I've been told that you even supply umbrellas to small scale business
Yes,
women. Yeah, tell us
yes,
about that. Tell us
yes,
about that.
yes, 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 yes. Thanks for bringing this up, because I remember that
Mhm.
when we got to these families, we realized that it was kind of not so sustainable to be keep on buying pair of shoes and keeping maybe looking for that white cane for the blind. So we said, then
Mhm.
how could we then empower the mothers in those families such that they'll
Mhm.
be able, therefore, then in our absence, they'll be able to be
Mhm.
able to pay to the school fee for their kids. And that's where we came
Mhm.
out with the idea of outdoor umbrellas, because we realized then these many of these
Mhm.
small scale traders who are doing their work on outdoors and more often. And of course, we understand the ravages of the climatic change. It could be very hot, or sometimes when it rains, it pours. And so we realize that this could disturb their day-to-day areas of business. And that's when we started now to buy outdoor umbrellas. And this we found that could be a way of sustaining the going school for their kids. We have been doing this, and of course supporting small scale those who are in businesses, the widows and the single mothers. We buy these umbrellas as a way of keeping them into their businesses without relying upon us every day that we have to get those equipments to their children. And it has been a good ride with this team.
Oh, I believe it because I've seen the women in the marketplace with
Right.
their umbrellas. So what happens literally, listen, this isn't an umbrella for one person. This is a big umbrella. So when they put
Yeah.
it out, it's also able to keep some of their wares from getting wet because when the rain happens, guess what? The rain happens. So all they have to do is pull out that umbrella. What a great, great, great things to do. But in addition to that, it's like Professor applies himself to whatever it is he sees that needs done. If we need trees, then he'll get involved with the people for tree planting. He'll get involved with the women for small scale business matters. They've done recycling and harvesting of water. You want to talk to us about that a little bit?
Yes, Queen Mother, let me talk about this. But
Okay.
as a way of sensitizing communities, there is what you call today climatical change. There is no better way of trying to reach them with what they need the most. And so, in the process of giving the how to umbrellas, we are able to speak to them. Hello, Queen
We're
Mother.
listening. We're here.
All
We're
right, right.
here.
Exactly. So, in the process of reaching to them with the umbrellas, we are able also to sensitize them into what they can do about the climatic change. And this is where we come with the tree planting and the ways of recycling. And I can tell you that this has been so much practical because then we are able to reach them from their point of need. As we give them the outdoor umbrellas, we are able to educate them more on what happens in what they can do in this what you call the age of climatic change. And I'm
Mhm.
telling you, we have been planting trees with these families. We have been sensitizing schools wherever we go, and the bit of just trying to take care of the environment. And as you have stated it earlier, what I teach back at the real university is environmental studies, and so this becomes very practical. And I can tell you, it is the best time to live, so to speak, in my life,
Mhm.
that I'm able to do it to them that need it the most, of course, as it was done unto me in years past when I needed it the most.
This is so interesting, Professor, because not you started out giving shoes, but wherever you saw a need, you just began to deal with that. For example, people know that Queen Mother Speaks is a big supporter of the reusable sanitary towels, and I
Right,
understand
right,
that Souls
right.
also gives out sanitary pads to those who need it.
Always.
Souls
The-
also does medical camps. Souls also, can you believe this? They also give out wheelchairs. Souls also give out white canes. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? So wherever they see a need, yes, please, Coach. Coach,
Let me go.
I see your hand is up. Coach, okay, looks like her screen might be frozen at the moment. We want to take a moment again and thank those of you tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks. And please feel free to give shout out to the guest in the studio and let them know that you are tuning in and watching the show and hearing what it is that they have to say. All right, Coach is still frozen at the moment, but Professor, tell us about maybe one of your projects, whether it could be dealing with eyeglasses or sanitary pads or the wheelchairs or the white canes or the food or the shoes. Tell us about one of them that for you was very satisfactory?
I think just this last week, we had gone to a place in Baringo, as you brought it so well, and where we were visiting a school for those kids that are living with a disability of impaired eyesight. And so we were privileged to be part of the vision that we provided the what you call the braids, those are the writing braids, and we realized that in the day of technology, it could be something that we may look into that's beyond just the writing braids, and we were
Mhm.
challenged, and that's why, as we are today, as much as we have been providing what you call the centered parts, which of course we have another kind of a camp that is going to happen on 28th of this month, where
Uh-huh.
we'll be providing the sanitary pads to the girls, because we realize the teenage pregnancies is very high, very, very high
That
in our country.
is, uh, yeah. Is that the event, Nicholas, with the young lady who is a AIDS survivor?
Yes, we'll be together.
Is the
It's
event
one
on?
that we are going to work
Okay,
together with her
okay. Is that is on the 28th?
on the 28th of this month.
Okay.
Right,
So Queen Mother Speaks and Souls for Africa's Children will be joining along with others, and we'll be joining with the young lady who is an AIDS survivor, and she
right,
works with young people. So we're gonna go there and be supportive of that event as well.
right.
Okay, very good, very good. Um, those interested in learning more, okay, I'm hearing some background noise, but those interested in Okay, those interested in knowing more about Professor Nick, you can reach him at 0728-376-215. Once again, 0728-376-215. Those of you out of the country, it would be plus 254-728-376-215. Okay? Very well, very well, very well. We're going to take a moment and just say a little bit about Mother's Day. We want to talk to you about Miss Pearl Boynes, Boynes. Pearl was on the show with us last year for Mother's Day. She was 83 at that time. Now Pearl is actually 84. And Pearl has authored 2 books since she was on Queen Mother Speaks a year ago. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We wanted to bring her into the studio, but given that our technology is still not perfect, it's buffering when we bring in the video. So perhaps, God willing, we can show it to you again on next year. But also, we have Lady Mo, who is a creative designer who's been living in the islands for the last 30, 40 years. And now she's back in the States in Atlanta, Georgia. And her product line for a Mother's Day collection has been accepted into the Wilborn Sisters Design Boutique, downtown Atlanta, Georgia. So all of these very beautiful handmade gifts for Mother's Day, you can find them at Wilborn Exclusive Designs, downtown Atlanta, Georgia. And Lady Mo has also told us that she will be making these beautiful, sensational, unique, one of a kind, crafty items year round. So we'll be featuring her more and more and more on the show with those lovely items. But there's still some Mother's Day items left if you'd like to purchase them, but there's others as well. So what we want to say about Mother's Day is it is a day or an event that we normally do to celebrate and honor our mothers, around the globe. Um, we acknowledge their maternal bonds to us and with us. We also honor the authority figures in our life who may not be our mother, but still an authority figure in our life. Coach, if you're not going to be on the screen, kindly turn off your camera. We do not need to see the roof. Please put on your, please do your camera. All right. Okay. Thank you for that. Um, so as we are continuing we do not have the video of Pearl out of Trinidad, but I'll tell you a little bit about Pearl's story. Pearl, a Christian girl, born in Trinidad, a Christian girl, grew up, met her husband, got married, and they had 10 children. Somewhere along the way, the husband decided to take his flight. He was the pastor of the church there in Trinidad. But once he took his flight, a few years later, Pearl actually became Pastor Pearl. So, in addition to raising her children, she became pastor of the church that was once pastored by her husband before he passed on. And then, as her children began to grow up, then they began to help her more and more and more in the church. And she was able to take some of her free time and do some other things. And guess what she did? She started writing. And she has 2 books out. And we're going to have her talk to us about them when she's in the studio with us. But we just want to thank God for Mama Pearl. And Mama Pearl says, thank God for technology and thank God for his sufficient grace. Because she says that through technology, she's been able to write these two books. And we're going to be inviting her back on the show to talk to us about the books, all right, at a later date. And what else is in store for us through Mama Pearl of Trinidad. Thank you again, Mama Pearl. We love you. We appreciate you. Okay, so there's so many ways to celebrate May and celebrate Mother's Day, and we were focusing in on those lovely gifts that Lady Mo, the designer, is making while she's there now living in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so Lady Mo, who was our feature for today, she takes nature walks. And during these nature walks, she collects variations of flowers, leaves, bark, and boy, a bunch of other things. And she takes them and she puts designs on them literally and found a way to do a design on a piece of paper or on a piece of fabric or on a canvas. So these are the one of a kind designs that she makes. And we can't wait to have her on the show and show you from time to time some of the lovely things that she, in fact, is doing. Well, as you know, Queen Mother became a BF Suma supplement distributor about a month ago. And I'm going to be talking to you about that more and more. But I do want you to buy some products from me, not because I want you to buy products from me, but because the products are actually going to help you. You see, before I could talk to you about the BF Suma product line. Did you have your hand up, Nicholas? Oh, I thought he had his hand up. But before I could talk to you about the BF product line, I had to try it out for myself. So I did. And I am going to be talking to you about it. And I want you to try it out for yourself. One of the things I like about the BF Suma line is they have lined up their products according to the types of diseases you find. So if a person has high blood pressure, right, I can go on the sheet under high blood pressure and find out the names of the supplements they have available for that, read them off to you, and you can choose the one that you think will work best for you. And we can also give you recommendations based on what people have said about the various supplements that they use. All right, but more on that later. I want to now turn my attention to expert reminder tips. After 60 years old, there are 12 actions that you should avoid. 12. Today, Queen Mother's going to give you 4 of those actions. But before we go there, let's see if Coach or Professor has anything to say. We have about 5 minutes before we end the show today. Coach?
Yes, I would like to give a special dear a shout out to all mothers on this planet. The job is not easy. Trust and believe me, your job is never done. Even if you have not had the opportunity to be blessed with giving birth to a child, I know that all women are mothers, aunts, cousins, uh, grandaunts, grandmas, and it takes a village to produce good, productive citizens, humane, spiritual beings, uh, all encompassing, caring, and just being good human beings. It doesn't happen magically. You have to work at this thing. It's a day in, day out, 24, 27 hours. You sleep, you're thinking you did something wrong. You wake up, you got to readjust. You have to listen to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 personalities. They're all individual personalities. But if God has blessed you with a child or children, then it is incumbent upon you to stop all that you think you're supposed to be doing and pay attention to that gift that or gifts that you have been gifted to, because nothing happens by accident. God does not give you no more than you can bear. Your time will come, because my time has arrived. I am sailing like a bird in the sky.
Very good.
And I am happy that I took the time to take care not only of my children, because I'm an educator, I took care of any child that
And your
came
community.
in my community, in my presence, because as Dr. Barbara always said, if they come in front of you, then it was by divine appointment. I asked for them to appear, and they asked for me to appear.
All right. Very
So,
good. Very good.
blessed Mother's Day to every woman, and may we come back to our sensibilities and take on the responsibility of being a mother as a very serious business.
Thank
Very
you
serious.
so very much, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Again.
You know, Coach,
We're near the end.
Giving us out to all mothers, giving us out to all mothers, and the celebration continues. It may be not even to the end of this month. We celebrate all mothers, and particularly mothers in Africa today that are dealing with the children with disabilities. You are the best. You are the best. You are the best, and may God continue preserving you for us. We love you all. And we love with the love of God. May God continue taking care of you as you take care of those disabled children, because indeed, we need you more than anything else. God bless you.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Happy
again.
Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Month. Queen Mother Speaks, we celebrate mothers for this entire month. And listen, next month, which is the month of June, we want to celebrate fathers. So, Professor, I'm going to ask you to bring me 2 fathers that are at least 80 years old who can come on the Queen Mother Speak show and give us some words of wisdom.
Thank you.
We'll
thank you. Thank you very much.
Give us 2. And Coach, I know you're going to give us 2 as well. So we're hearing from the women in the month of May, and we're going to be hearing from the men in the month of June, because June is Father's Day. And so, and we want to hear those words of wisdom. It's important that we hear these words of wisdom. And I want to apologize again for the Wi-Fi not being exactly as it should be, but that's okay. We're working on it. Let me give each of you just a few tips for you to pass on to your mothers. Here's the 4 tips for today. After 60 years old, there's 12 actions that should be avoided. Action number 1, after 60 years old, do not climb stairs. Do not climb stairs. Do not climb stairs. However, if you find that you must climb stairs, then hold on firmly to the staircase railing. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm over 60 and I definitely still climb stairs. I definitely climb stairs, but I also hold on to the railing. After I read this tip, I decided that I would hold on because it's telling us that there are so many people who fall basically because they were what? Not holding on. Yes, coach?
I believe that that's true. I have been holding, I hold on, but I have skipped steps. I don't
Oh,
know. Yeah, like skip 1 or 2 steps. So that's a good tip. I don't know what it is with the body, the equilibrium
yeah,
changes, but
yeah.
yes, do hold on.
All right. Hold on to the railing. And if you see a person over 60 going upstairs, ask them,
Help them.
say, Madame, please, would you hold on to the rail? Just ask them. And chances are they'll do it. Tip number 2, do not rapidly twist your head. Do not rapidly, if you're over 60, do not rapidly twist your head. Warm up your whole body first. So, in other words, if you want to exercise your neck, after 60, it's saying don't rapidly do that until you warm up the whole body. Tip number 3, do not bend your body to touch your toe. Do not bend your body to touch your toe. Wow, I still bend and touch my toes, but according to this, I should not be doing that because I'm over 60. Tip number 4, do not stand to wear your trousers, right? Do not stand and try to put on your trousers. I'm guilty. I am guilty as 2 left shoes. Sometimes I'll just get a pair of pants and I'll just start sticking my feet inside. But it's saying if you're over 60, do not stand to wear your trousers. Sit down and put one leg at a time. Why? That's just called being good to yourself. Isn't that right, coach?
Yes, yes, yeah.
And
Wait,
you don't and
it's
you don't think you're gonna fall trying to put on a pair of pants until
I
you fall.
believe I believe that these messages are trying to advise us to use wisdom and to be cautious and very careful. I also feel that if you have been exercising, if you are actively engaged in exercising 3 to 4 times a week, these rules will not apply. If you're physically
I
fit,
beg to differ. Oh no, 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 no. After a certain age, my dear, your equilibrium begins to change.
yeah, but if you've been doing yoga, if you've been practicing yoga for over a period of time, you can do more than bend and touch your toes.
Right. If you've been practicing. However, well,
That's
these are
what I'm.
just tips. Yeah, these are
Yeah.
just tips to have people have us be more safe because I didn't know that I needed to sit on the bed and put on my pants until I read it. I didn't know.
Well, the
And I've
reasoning
never
behind that,
fallen.
the
Huh?
reasoning behind that is that you can become dizzy and fall flat on your face.
What it's saying to us is there's been a significant number of people who've had accidents this way, which is
Yeah.
why they're telling us now to try these tips. All right,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, that's our 4 tips for today for our mothers and our fathers and everybody else tuning in. I want to thank you for tuning into the Queen Mother Speak Show. I've seen a lot of people come into the studio today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks. We look to be with you again on next week, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time. We're going to end the show the way we always do, which is sending love into the world. Are you ready, coach? Starting with our left hand. Mwah. We blow you a kiss. Then with our right hand, we blow you a kiss. And now let's do both hands. We love you, we appreciate you, and we thank God for you. Happy Mother's Day. Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time and 10 a.m. New York time. This is Queen Mother Speaks. Thank you.